Shama. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comment and Kiki. You already know it's your host, Bando, and we are back with one fantastic episode. Why? Because order has been restored, ladies and gentlemen. The MMA world is turned back to normal somewhat, because Alex Pereira is once again the light heavyweight champion of the world, and we needed that. You know, no shots at Magomed Ankalaev. I'm not a huge fan, but no shots at Magomed Ankalaev. That division was going to be very, very stale and boring with that man at the head of it. So, shout out to Alex Pereira. But either way, you already know what we're doing. We coming through with the review for UFC 320. So, let's waste no more time. Let's get into the review. Let's go. Let's smoke. So, as of recently, you know, it seems like the UFC realm, just fights and stuff, have been very dry. We haven't been getting very stacked cards. Everything's been very simple, very basic, you know, a bunch of the free cards, right? So, UFC 320 came along, and I know me and many other fans were super hyped for this because we finally getting a card with a lot of names on it. It's a bigger card, it's a more exciting card, good matchups on the card, and that's exactly what it was. It was a fantastic card last night. Very good fights. A lot of exciting moments, a lot of back and forth moments in certain fights, quick finishes in some fights. Like it was a good night of fights, and it definitely is what we needed compared to everything else that we've had recently. Like this was beautiful. You know, like I said, a lot of finishes, a lot of good finishes, quick finishes. One of the most impressive quick finishes on the card was Youssef Zalal's win over Josh Emmett. I always want Josh Emmett to go out there and get the dub, right? I fuck with Josh Emmett. And I think that knockout power that he has is such a highlight reel knockout power that you love to see it. But at the same time, if you go in there with the right game plan, you can get past Josh Emmett. It's more than just avoiding the right hand. You got to go in there with the proper game plan. And Youssef Zalal gave no second to guess, no wasting time, nothing at all. Just went straight in there, shot for the takedown, got the takedown. And it wasn't a normal takedown where let me take him down and then I got to adjust position and I got to climb and find. No. He took him down and was already in the position to end up securing some sort of submission. I think originally it was close to a rear naked, and then it got switched. Josh looked like he was going to get out, and then he ended up in an arm bar in a bad position and verbally tapped. And it was quick. So Youssef Zalal now has back-to-back wins over Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett. So two big names. He really needed those. He's a very talented fighter, and he could be somebody that causes problems at 145. Now that you have two names behind you, what's next? He's calling out Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy definitely seems like he's next up to get that title shot. You know, I would honestly say throw him to somebody like Yair Rodriguez or something like that, you know. Give him somebody who is unique when it comes to every aspect of the game, because Yair could even throw up some nasty ass submission off his back and really fool you, right? Like, so Yair would be a good matchup because it's another good test at the top 5, and it's another good guy that you know who has been through the best of the best in the division, and then not only the best of the best in the division, he's fought for a belt before. Whether or not he's been a champion, he's an interim champion, but he's fought for a belt for. So I think Youssef Zalal and Yair Rodriguez would be a great matchup. A lot of wrestling on the early prelims. I remember the early prelims had a lot of wrestling. The prelims, you had 3 knockouts. You had Edmen Shahbazyan getting the finish over Andre Muniz. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Andre Muniz is not one of those guys who puts in that crazy effort on the feet and brings that dog out or anything like that, right? He's looking for his way to win, and if his way to win is not there, he's going to end up losing. And that's exactly what happened on Saturday. Edmen Shahbazyan got it done. Edmen Shahbazyan should be a guy who is very, very difficult to beat. He's tall, rangy, big, strong, powerful, good striker. he should be more dominant in the division. Let's see as he gets. I mean, it's how old is he now? Let's see. Because when he first came into UFC, I want to say he was like 24 years old or something like that. Yeah, I mean, Edmen Shahbazyan's younger than me. He's 27 years old. So, still got a lot of time. A lot of time. That kid could truly, truly be a problem for anybody in that division as he grows. Now, the wrestling aspect, once you get to those heavy wrestlers of the division, it's a little bit more difficult. You're going to have to test them there. But I think Edmen Shahbazyan is a real problem in that division if he can keep everything together. That's his only issue. He can't keep everything together. If he can keep everything together and be on point for the whole fight, he's a dog. Then you got Jacob Wicklocks. I don't actually know if I said that right. He beat Patchy Mix in a very close decision. It was a close fight. Patchy needed to do a little bit more to really, really, really guarantee that he won that fight. But I could see where people say that Patchy won that fight. It could have went either way. When you leave it that close and you leave it to the judges, you never know what's going to happen. Daniel Santos got that nasty KO in the second round over Yuzhu Sang. Sang is actually one of the prospects of Korean Zombie, so there's a part of me that really wanted to see him have some success, and he did in his debut fight in the UFC. Nasty win debut fight, but this one unfortunately just came out in that second round. He's so technical when it comes to his striking. His striking is so clean, so technical, and I think this is a problem with a lot of strikers is they keep their hands too low, right? Because you look at kickboxing and a lot of other styles, they keep their hands low because they're just point fighting, right? But in this sport, you cannot leave your hands low. You cannot leave that chin open because it does not matter how hard a guy cracks. You can get hit by the softest punching person in MMA, but if they clip you in the right spot at the right time, it don't matter. You're going to sleep. It's 4-ounce gloves. Right, so you have to keep your hands up. You have to be able to tuck the chin somewhat. You got to be able to defend. You cannot just leave your chin wide open. And he did, and he got caught with a nasty hook right to sleep. Good win for Daniel Santos. And then Atiba Gauthier. Whoa. I mean, granted, Tristan Vines took that fight on short notice, but still. Gauthier is going to be a monster. If he has like a fully sound game, we haven't really got to see him yet. Let's see, his 3 fights in the UFC, all this year, all 3 KOs, first round. He's like a Francis Ngannou of the middleweight division right now. Middleweight division. I thought it was welterweight for a second. Like a Francis Ngannou of the middleweight division. That's scary as hell. If this dude has every aspect of the game, you had Joe Pyfer got the submission over Abus Magomedov. Let me tell you something about Abus Magomedov. Looks like a dog in the first round. You can get past the onslaught of anything that he gives you in the first round. He is going to be gassed out in 2. You got to put the pressure on him. You put the pressure on him in 2 and 3, you're going to get the win. 90% chance you're going to get the finish. And that's exactly what Joe Pyfer did. And that's exactly what Joe Pyfer needed. Joe Pyfer is somebody who is he's got it all, man. He's got it all. He just needs to, I don't even know what to really say what Joe Pyfer needs to do. Joe Pyfer needs to do exactly what he did Saturday. That's what Joe Pyfer needs to do. Every fight that Joe Pyfer's in needs to look similar to that, right? He faced a tad bit, not much, a tad bit of adversity. Found his openings in his shots, found the openings on the ground, made Abus pay in any position that he possibly can, ended up getting a submission win, showing that Joe Pyfer is also very skilled on the ground. Yes, we know he's got power in his punches and he can pop, but he's very skilled on the ground as well. If he can get you in the right spot, he can end up getting a win. Great win for Joe Pyfer. Like I said, very well needed. That is exactly what he needs, especially in these early fights, right? These ones before you start breaking into the top 10, once you start getting the bigger names, these early fights, you got to run through them. If you could run through them making statements like that and you get to the top 5, no problem. And Joe Pyfer was getting elevated very quick. You know, until he lost to Jack Hermanson, he was getting elevated super quick, right? And then I think Dana realized, like, all right, let me slow him down a little bit because I still got time. I don't have to rush him to be a superstar, to be a champion, to be anything. In due time, he might just grow into being something, right? And you got to just let him do that by doing what he did Saturday. We already talked about this next one, Yusuf Salal with the amazing submission over Josh Emmett. For some reason, I thought that was on the prelims. I thought that was the main event of the prelims, but I don't know why I got it mixed up. But good win for him. Yusuf Salal, man, very impressive. Very impressive. And he was not letting go of that arm no matter like what the position was. He wanted that submission, and he got that. He got that shit. All right, now moving on to my favorite fight of the night. I haven't been this hype watching a fight in a minute. This was awesome. Yuri Petroska versus Khalil Rountree. Listen, from the first second that the bell rang, we knew we were in for a treat. Okay, not only are you going to get some sort of war type of fight, but you're going to see chaos, right? Yuri is fantastic when it comes to chaos, and Khalil is somebody who can fight in the chaos, but not necessarily win in the chaos. So it started off really, really strong for Khalil. I think Khalil was finding his shots. Yuri was leaving openings. Yuri was getting caught with some heavy shots, getting caught with some kicks, keeping his hands down, being very weird, you know, being very unorthodox, typical Yuri, right? Not having any sort of just straight off game plan except kind of just move around, land the shots he can, look for some crazy stuff. Kind of real, like reminded me of the way he was fighting Volkan Ozdemir in his debut. Like that first round reminded me of that. So Khalil was doing good. Khalil was having some success in that first round. Second round came around where Yuri started finding a little bit more. Khalil was still landing, but Yuri started finding a little bit more. And at that point, now you have Khalil starting to wear down. Third round came out. That boy Yuri came out like a different breed and got the finish over Khalil Rountree. And let me tell you something about Khalil, man. When you push him, when you push that, and you got to bring that dog out of him. Like I say, he could fight. Doesn't mean he's going to win in the chaos. He can handle the chaos. He's a guy that if you just need somebody to be there in the chaos, he's going to be there. He might lose, but he's going to be there, right? That's Khalil Rountree. Khalil Rountree is a very skilled fighter. Very technically sound fighter, scary, powerful, right? But at the same time, there's aspects of this game, and I think in that light heavyweight division, if your name is not Alex Pereira or Yuri Petroska, you got a tough time in this division because these dudes are so special to their style, to the way that they fight, that it's hard to mimic. For a training partner, right? You get a sparring partner. How are you supposed to mimic Yuri Petroska? You don't. It's just that simple. You don't. You can't mimic somebody who's so unpredictable that you're trying to train for the unpredictableness. You still can't predict what he's going to do. So it doesn't matter how you train or try to break it down. It really does not matter. He's still coming out as this unorthodox savage. So yeah, Yuri went full savage instinct mode and just that left hand he landed, man, just I don't agree with people saying this though. Fantastic win for Yuri. And Yuri is a problem for everybody in that division. No, you are not getting a third fight with Alex. Sometimes a guy just got your number, and I think that's exactly what Alex has with Yuri. Think you can... I mean, I don't know what you want to do. You can make Yuri and Magomed, but at the same time, you don't want to put him up against somebody who just lost, right? I don't know. It's tough because now you got three guys sitting there. Unless you just make Carlos Oldberg versus Yuri Petroska. and see who gets to win and makes that the number one contender. But at the same time, that's a lot of waiting for Alex. Alex wants to fight, and now he wants to go up to heavyweight, make history. So we'll see what happens. But it was a great win for Yuri. Yuri needs to stay in the win column. His excitement levels and his aura is something that has carried him so far, alongside of the skill, but the excitement level, the character that he is, the way he acts. I mean, like you watch in the main event when Alex gets the win, they pan over to him and he's crying like he's like some proud uncle. Like that's Yuri Petroska right there. That is Yuri Petroska. But damn, man, that shot he hit Khalil with, whoo, them shots he hit Khalil with. He went from a dude who was trying to get CTE in the first round to a guy who was trying to give it. That's just how the cookie crumbles with Yuri Petroska. That's pretty much it. Moving on, we go on to the co-main event where y'all know me. I've always been a fan of Corey Sandhagen. Always been a fan of Corey Sandhagen. Always been backing him. Always been wanting to see him win. Always been wanting to see him with gold around his waist. And it would have been fantastic to see him do it against Merab. But it didn't happen. Merab is a dog, okay? Hate him or love him. Hate the style or love it. Merab is a dog. His nickname, The Machine, is exactly what he is. He is an absolute machine. A cardio machine. A wrestling machine. A technical machine. And now, fucking working with the stand-up, too. Look, Corey came out, in my opinion, with a fantastic game plan, was pushing the pace, was keeping the fight in the middle, was trying to throw different looks at him on the feet, was just trying to really show that he is the superior striker, right? So he came out with the right game plan, was doing it perfect. First round, I thought Corey won the first round. You go into the second round, he gets rocked. As soon as he got rocked, he went full defense mode and was on the back foot the rest of the night. The rest of the night he was on the back foot. The whole time you watch a striker against a dominant wrestler, they back up. I don't know if guys think that them backing up, they could utilize the cage to get back up easier or what. But 90% of the time, you got a guy like Merab, he's going to take you down again. 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 Doesn't matter how many times you get up. You could use that cage to get up. He's going to use that same cage to put your ass right back down, right? And at the same time, he's gaining points off of this, and he's making you look foolish because you just keep getting up just to get taken back down, right? And Corey went back to the corner multiple times. Trevor Whitman said, please don't back up. Stop backing up. Do not back up. Keep the fight in the middle. Do not back up. Don't back up. And what did Corey do? He backed up. Back against the cage. That is the problem. Strikers versus wrestlers backing up is the problem, right? Like I said, Corey came out fantastic in that first round. Was pushing the pace. Was throwing a little bit higher volume than he usually like is throwing right off rip in the first round. He was going at it, right? And I'm like, that's exactly what Corey needs to do. If Corey can keep this up for 5 rounds and stuff takedowns, void the takedowns, and just keep doing this on the feet, he could freeze Merab. Might not get the knockout, might freeze Merab to where he can throw Merab off the game and pick him apart for 5 rounds or something like that. Well, I was wrong. Because after Corey got rocked, he had success landing shots, but nothing to where he won the round anymore. Every single time Merab saw that he could take him down once, he took him down multiple times. Now, Corey did fantastic defending takedowns, but Merab is a guy who's going to shoot 100 times. It's just that simple. I want to see how many times did Merab actually shoot. Merab shot 37 takedowns, landed 20 of them. So Corey Sandhagen stuffed 17 takedowns, which you don't hear that in a fight often. A guy stuffing 17 takedowns, let alone a guy shooting 17 takedowns. But he stuffed 17 takedowns. Merab shot 37 times. It succeeded 20 of them. He got more takedowns than times Corey got up or Corey defended. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. to add on his 399 total strikes. Dude puts out volume. He's a machine. As simple as that. You can hate him or love him, but you can't say nothing about the skill set. Dude is a dog. Fantastic win. Who the fuck beats Merab in this division? I don't know. Piotr? Maybe Piotr. And ladies and gentlemen, on to the main event. Shama. Shama back. Simple as that. That's how you win a rematch. Okay, that's how you win a rematch. That's how you come in, you get the job done in the rematch. There is no need for a third. There's no need for a third now. You got embarrassed in the first round like that. No need for a third. Close decision, and not super close decision, but a decision win. 5-round kind of not a crazy good, not a super exciting matchup, but 5 rounds. Got the W. Cool. Become new champion. Cool. And then you come in and get knocked out in the first round. You ain't getting no third fight. The bell rang, and Alex closed the distance like this. Just like that. Let me tell you something. If you're going in there against a guy who you know can wrestle, and you put him on the back foot, and you close that distance between the black line of the octagon and the cage, that's going to be a problem for them. They're out of range to shoot. They feel pressure. They're out of range to get their best shot out. Man, Alex went at him and was just throwing with bad intentions. He wanted to finish this fight. He wanted to finish this fight early, and that's exactly what it did. And anybody sitting there saying that that was an early stoppage, I don't even think Magomed was mad at it. If you're sitting there saying fight back, and you don't, the fight's going to be stopped. He was getting hit with those nasty 12-6 to the side of the body. And the 12-6 were close to the top of the... I mean, if his hands weren't there, those would have been really like top of the head, back of the head, close 2 shots. But he was landing those 12-6, and you're not fighting back. You're not trying to get out. You're not trying to roll. You're kind of just laying there and taking it. That's not an early stoppage. That's a proper stoppage of a man that was hoping you'd stop the fight to save his ass. Alex got it done with the right hand too instead of the left. Threw that overhand right and cracked him, man. Perfect timing, perfect spot. Cracked him, wobbled him up, had him shooting. Stuffed the takedown. And beat his ass on the ground. Hashtag and new UFC light heavyweight champion, Alex Poatan Pereira Shama. All right. So one of my Brazilian faves. One of my Brazilian favorites. Back in the win column. This weekend, I need the other one back in the win column. Because my boy Charles is going up against Matus. Charles versus Rafael Fiziev horrified me. Especially coming back after that bad of a KO against Ilya. This fight doesn't concern me on that same level. But still, Matus could be tricky. I think Charles can get this one done in front of the hometown crowd. He's dangerous on the ground. Matus can be put in positions that he doesn't like. We'll see what happens. You know I'm rocking with DuBronx with this one. Brazil card. I don't know if I'm doing anything for it. I'll probably do a slight breakdown. It's Charles Oliveira. It's Charles DuBronx Oliveira. Snapping back quick too. Honestly, snapping back quick too. A little too quick in my opinion. But I could see this being his last fight too. Realistically. I could see this being his last fight. Unless he's still trying to chase to be the belt, but him doing this quick turnaround after a bad KO like that, and it's in front of the hometown crowd, I could see a retirement. But either way, fantastic UFC 320 card. It was awesome. Great finishes. We get Alex Pereira back with the belt around his waist. Yuri Petroska got a win. Everybody's happy. And the MMA world is back. Back the way it needs to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for watching this episode. You know what to do. If you enjoyed this episode, like it, comment on it, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Bell notification so you know when the next episode comes out. And that's that. I appreciate you for watching this episode. I'll catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bando is out. Peace.